from NBC News at least 175 LGBTQ athletes to compete in Paris Olympics. Now, sometimes it's LGBT, sometimes it's LGBTQ, sometimes it's LGBTQCIA plus BBQ, sometimes it's 2SL LGBTQ.
I will never apologize for standing up for an LGBTQ2 plus kids' rights.
It's all absolute nonsense, but here they want us to know that there's at least 175 of them competing in the Paris Olympics. And there has been some complaints and commentary surrounding the opening ceremony of the Olympics, which is clearly not a coincidence. British diver Tom Daley, Canadian soccer player Quinn, who I've spoken about in the past, just took one name and expects you to play in that reality, and also posted some pretty graphic images on her Instagram after she got the old snip snip. And track athletes Sha'Carri Richardson and Nikki Hiltz are among this year's queer competitors. Now, I didn't know anything about Sha'Carri, whatever. I think she was actually in a Kanye West video. That aside, Nikki Hiltz, of course, I made a video about fairly recently in the grand scheme, and she claims to be a transformer, and a lot of people were saying that's a man competing with women and it shouldn't be that way. Then, of course, the fact checkers came out and say, no, she wasn't born a man, she was born a woman, and is now pretending that she's not a woman, but beat loads of women in a foot race, is now going to the Olympics. But my name's Eric. This channel is called Report and Opine. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm absolutely begging you.
I'm begging you, please. Come on, please.
It would help me a lot and cost you nothing. But if you wanted to help me even more and spend some money, you would buy my book, New York City 2020, Gotham Unglued, on Amazon.com. That link will be in the description. They say at least 175 out LGBTQ athletes. Of course, they're out. So there's probably more that we don't even know about yet, that they don't even know about yet. They'll be in Paris for the 2024 Summer Games with a record number of out male Olympians participating, according to the LGBTQ sports site Out Sports, which I believe is just an NBC affiliate that covers a bunch of gay stuff, as if their regular news outlet doesn't. In the last Summer Olympics held in Tokyo in 2021, there were at least 186 out competitors, but the list originally started at 121, according to Out Sports co-founder Sid Ziegler, who said the number increased as the sports news site became aware of additional publicly out athletes. This year's number of out Olympians started at 144 when Out Sports first published its tally last week and reached 175 as of Friday, the day of the opening ceremony. And this, I believe, now, yes, I'm sure there's a lot of like weirdo gay athletes. That's fine. It's no problem. But it is clearly obvious that, what's her name? What is her name again? Nikki Hiltz, yes. So you have people like them who are just going to claim, right? They get a victim card. This is just a regular white lady, right? But that's just not enough, so she needs more. So she's going to claim, I'm not actually a woman, but I'm going to compete against the women, and that makes me a transformer, which is going to happen all over the place, so you can get a little notoriety. This year, at least 20 male athletes participating in the Summer Olympics are publicly out. Ziegler said equestrian, an Olympic sport with 8 LGBTQ men participating, has long been a leader in this space of out men. The vast majority of athletes on the list of queer Olympians, more than 150 women, lesbians, and other queer women represent more than half of at least 2 teams. The U.S. women's basketball team, where 7 of the 12 players are out. So there's probably more who just haven't come out of the closet yet. They're still scared, right? Okay. And the Australian women's soccer team, where at least 12 of the 18 players are out. And there's Brittany Griner, who says she's the father of a baby.
One other job that you're about to get into that is really hard and really scary. You're about to be a mom. How is that feeling? Pops. Oh, let me get it together. About to be a pops.
Given how many lesbians are in women's elite level sports, it's just been a more welcoming place than men's sports for a long time. Just because sports is largely a more masculine thing. just because of the huge percentage of elite level athletes, particularly in Western culture, who are LGBTQ in women's sports. However, Ziegler, whatever, said that in the world of men's sports, where LGBTQ athletes in the past might have been uncomfortable coming out, more male athletes are realizing their teammates are more accepting than they may have assumed. And as far as, look, without being too graphic, this entire thing is just about celebrating a certain lifestyle, right? I'm old enough to remember when a lot of these things were supposed to be behind closed doors and it didn't really matter. We all remember when I was a little kid, Slick Willie Clinton, I believe, don't ask, don't tell. Now it's, oh yeah, we're going to tell you right to your face and we're going to push it on your kids. That's the biggest thing that people are finally starting to see. That despite the nonsense that goes on in some men's locker rooms, yes, there's nonsense in there, right? These locker rooms are notoriously, a masculine area, but they just want to change it, right? They want to change it to where it's largely gay, right? Despite the nonsense that goes in some men's locker rooms, it doesn't reflect an actual level of acceptance. The level of acceptance is higher than what they think, he said. Some of the highest profile queer athletes at this year's Olympic Games include British diver Tom Daley, track star Sha'Carri Richardson, and trans non-binary runner Nikki Hiltz. So they've got 2 labels for that carbon-based life form, which, of course, I can't stress enough, is just a lady pretending she's not a lady, but beating women at running and going to the Olympics, right? So what's special about that is because you have admitted to being brainwashed by the agenda and now pushing it outwards, which makes you incredibly popular, according to NBC, I suppose. At the U.S. Olympic trials last month, Hiltz punched their ticket to Paris, running the second fastest time ever of any American in the women's 1,500-meter race. In a post-race interview with NBC Sports, Hiltz, 29, said the race had significance beyond setting the meet record. This is bigger than just me. I wanted to run this one for my community, they said. All the LGBT, see, there you go. So LGBT in this instant, LGBTQ in the title, LGBTQIA plus sometimes, and then Canada, which I guess is at the head of the crazy train, is 2SLGBT. Well, I can't get it right. Nobody can get it right. Even Trudeau can't get it right, but wants you to get it right. All the LGBT folks. Yeah, you guys brought me home okay. All the gays in the crowd gave you strength, I suppose. I could just feel the love and support. Hiltz will be one of the least 3 non-binary athletes participating in Paris, according to Ziegler, whatever. They'll be joined by U.S. women's rugby player Chris Thomas and Canadian soccer star Quinn, who helped Canada win gold at the Tokyo Games and made history in the process as the first openly trans athlete to nab an Olympic medal. But what makes you trans? Because you were born a woman, you were competing with women, but you removed your breasts. I guess that's it. Well, Ziegler said that some people believe the ban on trans women participating in women's category for certain sports has an effect on the number of LGBTQ athletes. So yeah, there would be more. He said he does not believe that the bans are affecting the overall numbers. But it's just crazy to me how you can just call yourself trans, but you're not competing with the men. So trans non-binary. While the number of out athletes on this year's out sports list could still increase, some changes to the competition may also be contributing to a lower number of LGBTQ. So now it's LGBTQ. It's back and forth. This is crazy. These people obviously can't keep up with their own insanity. Lower number of LGBTQ athletes in competition compared to the Tokyo Games. The elimination of softball as an Olympic sport, a sport that had 8 LGBTQ women in Tokyo, for example, has had an effect on the numbers. I didn't even know softball wasn't an Olympic sport anymore, but whatever. Ziegler also pointed out that the Swedish women's soccer team, which surprisingly didn't qualify for Paris, had 4 LGBTQ players in Tokyo. Oh, okay. So they had a whole bunch of them, but they weren't actually good at their sport, so they're not going to the Olympics this year. Women's soccer across all participating countries is the queerest sport at the Olympics this year, with 45 out players. Spain's team has 6 out athletes. Brazil's team has 8, and Australia's roster has 12, which Ziegler said might be the most LGBTQ people we've seen on an Olympic team. Oh my word. I love how they use the word out over and over again as to suggest that there are a lot more gays and queers on the sports teams that they're too afraid to admit their true selves because they might be lambasted, even though those days are long gone, and you obviously become a hero if you just pretend to capitulate to the narrative.